In this video, we're going to learn how to connect the top to the JackBord and learn how to use jumper wires to make connections. To attach the top to the JackBord, look at the top and make sure that the two buttons are facing downwards towards port D. Then place the top on the JackBord so that it fits snugly as shown. Next, we need to connect the power supply from the JackBord to that of the top. First, make sure that the power on the JackBord is turned off. We are going to take the three power pins on the top, as shown here, and connect them to the three corresponding power supply pins on the JackBord's port D, as shown here. Jumper wires are special wires with connectors on the end that make it easy to connect things in a circuit. Each wire will either have a socket or a pin on the end. The wires with the sockets are female and the wires with the pins are male. Jumper wires tend to come in three types. These are either one end is a female and the other end is a male, or both ends are male, or the type that we use with the top, both ends are female. The female end of the jumper connects to the male pin on the top, like this. Now we're going to connect the three power supply wires from the JackBord to the top. Looking at the top, you can see that the three power pins use the colours green, yellow and red. Ideally, these are the colours you should use for the jumpers, simply because green always means ground, yellow means 3 volts and red means 5 volts. First, take the green jumper wire and plug it into the green pin on the top. Plug the other end into the ground wire on port D of the JackBord. Next, plug the yellow jumper into the yellow pin on the top and the other end of the yellow jumper into the 3 volt pin on the JackBord's port D. And finally, take your red jumper wire and plug one end into the red pin of the top and the other end into the 5 volt line on port D. If all went well, your top power connection should look like these. Take a moment to check the connections on the top and make sure they're okay. If you're happy, turn the JackBord on by pressing the power button. And if all is connected properly, you should see the yellow power LED on the left-hand side and the red power LED on the right-hand side of the top turn on. These indicate that the 3 volts and the 5 volt power supply for the top is connected okay. One of the first things we need to get our heads around is the idea of a circuit diagram. In reality, they're very simple. They're just ways of using a drawing to represent how a circuit should be made. In many ways, a circuit diagram can be thought of as a map, because a map uses various symbols to represent things in reality, such as roads, rivers, and buildings. And likewise, the symbols on a circuit diagram represent parts of the circuits, such as jumper wires, transistors, resistors, and other components. So let's learn about the basics of circuit diagrams and the various symbols that are used and what they mean. A female jumper wire is represented by a line with a half circle at either end. And a pin is represented by a line with a dot at the end. When we want to represent a jumper wire being connected to a pin, we use the symbol shown here, in which the pin is inside the half circle of the jumper wire. As we mentioned in the first video, all of the components or pins on the top either have a letter or a number next to them. This makes it easier to work out where you need to connect the jumpers onto the JackBord. Now, we're going to use a simple LED circuit to illustrate the points we've just made. As you can see, the circuit diagram is on the left, and on the right-hand side is how the circuit looks when it's made on the JackBord top. What we're going to do is for each part on the circuit, we're going to simultaneously point out where it is on the circuit diagram and where it is on the JackBord top. Firstly, we have a 3 volt power supply coming from the top, and that is fed into the resistor R1 via jumper J1. Jumper J1 is connected to pin number 1 of the resistor R1, and jumper J2 is connected to pin number 2 of the resistor. Jumper J2 then leads from the resistor into the R input of the red LED. The red LED is L1. Next, jumper J3 leads from the negative side of the LED and connects to ground. If you look at the resistor R1 on the circuit diagram, you can see that there are two numbers, 1 and 2, with a circle around them. These correspond to the two pins of that resistor on the JackBord top. So to summarize, the JackBord top is comprised of pins to which are connected various electronic components. To connect these components together, you use jumper wires. In the case of the top, female to female jumper wires. A circuit diagram is a lot like a map because it has symbols on it that describe how things are connected together. In our case, how circuit elements are connected together. The connections are made using the jumpers. And finally, we looked at a simple LED circuit to see how the circuit diagram corresponded with what was constructed on the top. In part 3, we're going to start doing some fun things with the top and using it with the JackBord. For more information and more videos and tutorials, visit www.jackbord.org and click on the Start Here link on the upper left-hand side of the home page.